What's good, everyone? It's Mark from Motor Gear TV. Thank you guys for tuning in once again, and in today's video we're going to install my Catless Macht Schnell X-Pipe on my 2011 E90 M3. So before we get started, I figured I'd give you guys a quick look at the pipes up close. So as I mentioned before, this is the Macht Schnell Catless X-Pipe for the E90 M3. It does have the primary cats removed and also the secondary cats are also gone, but it does feature two high flow resonators in the back. Now this should really help with the sound, especially when paired up with the M Performance exhaust that's currently on the car. Now based on what I've seen online, some people have mentioned that the Macht Schnell X-Pipe will increase the rasp. With that setup, I'm hoping that's not the case, but you know, there's only one way for us to really find out. But guys, I'm really excited to get this on the car. This is one thing that I've always wanted to do to this car. The S65 has always been a popular engine when it comes to the sound that this car makes, so I'm hoping that with this new Catless setup, it will really amplify that and give it a nice crisp tone that I'm really looking forward to. Now, taking a quick close-up at the welds, I'm really pleased with the construction of this system. You can really tell that they did an excellent job welding this piece together. Everything looks absolutely perfect. The finish is quite amazing. This is 100% stainless steel, so it's actually really lightweight for what it is. I'm curious to see how heavy the OEM setup is going to be once we actually remove it off of the car. Over here you can see the welds for the OEM O2 sensors. Those will go right in here, simple plug and play. And then coming around to the back, this will attach to the rear exhaust section of the car. Now they did design this to fit with most aftermarket rear sections, so you should have a high chance of this fitting your current setup. But other than that, this is pretty much it. It does include a few nuts and bolts and also some gaskets that will go in between the pipes. I did go ahead and pick up some OEM exhaust gaskets. Now these will go between the exhaust headers and the front section of the X-Pipe, and that pretty much is it when it comes to this entire system. Now I am actually very happy that I was able to pick this up, because unfortunately these systems are becoming super hard to find. I think Macht Schnell actually might be discontinuing this pretty soon if they haven't already. So unfortunately for any of you guys that are interested in this system, you may have to dig a little bit deeper to find this exact setup. But without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and remove the stock X-Pipe and get this one on. Really quick, before we get started, let's actually go ahead and give you guys a quick cold start of the OEM M Performance exhaust. Now we're kind of limited on space because unfortunately we're doing this on jack stands. So for any of you guys at home, you're probably going to be experiencing similar limited clearance. But this is pretty much what the OEM setup does look like. Now I already have the OEM skid plate removed at the front. But to get started, the next thing we'll have to do is remove this felt under tray for the DCT transmission, and then pretty much remove the bolts in sequence. Now, once you get to this point, the next step will have to be to unplug the O2 sensors. Now, the one on the driver's side sits on this bracket right here. You're gonna have to slip it off and then it comes loose. And then the one on the passenger side is actually hidden by this metal shield. You'll have to remove the two 10mm bolts that hold it into place. And then from there, you'll be able to slip it off of its holding bracket. So you guys may have seen that I loosened the O2 sensors with the X-Pipe on the car. I find that's a little bit easier than trying to do it when it's off the car, because you have a little bit more leverage. So let's go ahead and loosen the last one. Oi. So when in doubt, go for the bigger tool. Alright, so now that's loose. The next thing we can move on to is removing the 12mm bolts on the clamps. Then we'll go to the header bolts and then the final center brace. Now let's go ahead and loosen the rear exhaust clamps. You don't have to remove these completely, just loosen them. And then lastly, we'll need to remove the bolts for the center brace. These are all 12mm hex head. Now, before you completely remove these bolts, you probably need to have someone assist you just to hold the exhaust up, because when these are out, the exhaust is pretty much free to fall down. So we'll just loosen them up but not remove them completely, and then I'll have Kirk jump underneath and help support the exhaust. And there you have it. The OEM X-Pipe is now off the car, and you guys can really see the true differences with the two pipes side by side. As I mentioned before, the OEM does have the two primary cats up front. The Macht Schnell does not. It features a full catless system all the way till the end, where it has two resonators similar to the OEM setup. So I'm hoping that will help a bit with the sound and the drone. But really, comparing these two side by side, the OEM really does have a lot of weight compared to the Macht Schnell system. It's honestly really light. The stainless steel definitely helps with the weight, and also not having all this bulk with the cats up front really do help lighten up the system a lot. Now for the next steps, we're gonna go ahead and transfer the O2 sensors from the OEM pipe over to the Macht Schnell system, and then we'll go ahead and connect the two pipes right here. And then lastly, we'll transfer the main support bracket over to the Macht Schnell system. So let's do that. So today is a new day. Unfortunately, we finished pretty late last night, so we weren't able to hear the first cold start on the car, but today is a new day. The car is right behind me. So with that being said, let's hear the car turn on for the first time. Honestly, the Macht Schnell with the M Performance exhaust sounds so good, guys. I do hear a little bit of rust, but honestly, I like it. It gives it that perfect snap when you get on the gas. That you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain it. You heard it in the sound clips. It sounds so exotic. I really wish you guys could hear this in person, because man, this setup here is so well. I know there's other brands on the market, but really, I think the Macht Schnell, you can't beat it. The price, the quality, the sound, everything about it is just fantastic. I'm really liking the way the car is turning out. The sound was really one of my biggest things that I wanted to change. I needed to hear the S65, the V8. I needed to hear that rumble, and this is the perfect setup for me. Now, in terms of complaints, the only thing I did notice right off the bat was the smell. Now, this is a full catless system, so you will get some smell coming from the exhaust, and honestly, it's not that bad. I know for some people it may be a little bit too much. So for you guys, you probably will have to look into a high flow cat system to eliminate that smell, but for me, I think I'm just gonna run it the way it is. And just like that, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the install of the Macht Schnell Catless X-Pipe on the E90 M3. I do know the next step for this exhaust will be to pair it with a tune, so that will be coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. And as always, if you guys enjoy the content, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one. We're gone.